He already had enough. He just didn't know it yet. Rasp had strong legs and a full hump by his 4th year, but he told himself he needed one more season before he was ready. The storm that changed everything did not wait for his permission. It only asked what he already had in his hands. Most people believe their future arrives once they finally feel prepared. But the moment that decides everything rarely waits for preparation. It only asks what you already have in your hands. This is a story about a young camel who spent 9 years waiting to become enough. One storm proved his future was already there, in his own 2 feet. The same weight finds every person before their biggest moment. Rasp was born on the caravan route, between 2 dry wells. By his 2nd year, his legs were longer than any calf in the herd. By his 4th year, his back could hold 2 full water sacks with ease. But Rasp never carried water. He watched the older camels line up at dawn, ropes pulled taut across their backs. He counted his own ribs instead of stepping forward. He told the herdmaster, "Next season, I'll be stronger by next season." The herdmaster said nothing. He simply nodded and walked on. There was one camel who never said this. Thistle was smaller than Rasp, and her left leg dragged slightly in soft sand. But she carried what she had every single morning, without waiting for more of it. Rasp watched her leave at dawn. Therefore he stayed behind at dawn, telling himself his turn would come. But the desert does not wait for a camel to feel ready. Season after season, Thistle carried water at dawn. Her steps were slow, but her sacks were always full by sunset. Rasp watched from the shade of the acacia trees. His legs had grown even stronger, but his feet had not moved toward the wells in over a year. The herdmaster began pairing new calves with Thistle for training, not with Rasp. Therefore, Rasp told himself the herdmaster simply hadn't noticed him yet. But one evening, the old scout camel pulled him aside. "You've been ready for 3 seasons," she said. "You just haven't believed it." Rasp's throat tightened. He did not answer. The dry season deepened. The nearest well cracked at its base, and the caravan elders called a meeting under torchlight. They needed every capable camel for the next water run before the far well ran dry too. Rasp raised his head. This was his moment finally to prove his strength. But the elders read the list of runners aloud. Thistle's name came first. Rasp's name did not come at all. He stood at the edge of the circle, ribs rising and falling fast. Nobody had told him no. He had simply never told himself yes. That night, the wind changed direction. Therefore, the scouts smelled sand before they saw it. But nobody could have predicted how soon the storm would test what ready actually meant. The storm hit 2 hours before dawn, faster than any scout had tracked. Sand tore across the camp in sheets. The runners who had left for the near well were caught halfway, forced to shelter behind their own kneeling bodies. Thistle was 3 miles out. Her dragging legs slowed her further with every gust. The well nearest camp, the cracked one, was the only water within reach before the storm buried the paths completely. And Rasp was standing right beside it. His legs did not move. His breath came fast and shallow, chest pressing hard against his own ribs. Sand filled the creases of his knees. He looked toward the herdmaster's tent. He looked toward the well. He looked at his own feet, still planted in the same spot they had been planted in for 3 seasons. The rope sat coiled by the well wall, exactly where it always sat. Nobody had hidden it from him. Nobody had ever hidden it from him. Thistle's voice was steady from a morning weeks ago. "I don't carry what I'll have. I carry what I've got." Rasp had laughed then. He understood nothing then. His legs moved before his mind finished deciding. He grabbed the rope. He did not test his strength first. He did not wait to feel ready. He simply looped it around the well post and pulled. The bucket rose slow and heavy through the wind. Sand cut across his eyes. He kept pulling. He was not the strongest camel on the route. He never had been. But he was the only one standing at the well when the well was needed. But pulling one bucket was nothing next to what came after. But in that half-second, something Thistle had said to him once, without meaning to teach him anything, rose up in his mind. By morning, the storm had passed. Thistle limped into camp 2 hours late, water sacks empty, her leg dragging heavier than before. She expected to find the well dry and the camp thirsty. Instead, she found buckets lined along the wall, filled through the night by a camel who had never carried water before. Rasp did not explain what had happened. He did not tell the story of the rope or the wind or the 3 seasons he had wasted. He simply nodded toward the buckets and stepped back into the shade. The herdmaster added his name to the runner list that evening. Rasp did not celebrate. He picked up a rope and walked toward the well before dawn, same as always now. But something Rasp understood that night went further than water. Most of us wait for a season that feels more ready than this one. We tell ourselves we need more strength, more time, more proof before we're allowed to begin. But the wait rarely protects us. It only hides how much we already have from ourselves. Somewhere, right now, a rope sits coiled by a well we've been standing next to for seasons. You already have enough to begin. Rasp spent 3 seasons waiting for strength he already had. The next storm in your life won't wait for you to feel ready either. Tell me in the comments, what's the rope you've been standing next to? If this story reached you, like it. Share it with someone still waiting for their season, and subscribe for more stories like this one.